if there was no stats, if there was no such thing as a stat line, if there was no such thing as anything, if it's just watching basketball on the screen, Kobe Bryant looks like the best player of all time. But unfortunately, there are numbers. There are times where he was missing a bunch of shots. There are times where he was getting outplayed by guys he shouldn't have been outplayed by.
Yo, I know Kobe is your favorite player, or whatever, right? And there's a lot of people that believe he's in the GOAT conversation, which it really irks me. He's one of the 5 greatest players of all time, in my opinion, but he's not the GOAT. He's not the GOAT. He's not in the GOAT conversation. He's not over LeBron James in the GOAT conversation. He's not near Michael Jordan. That's just all false. He plays like Michael Jordan. You can say that. You can say he mirrors his game after him. But when people say, oh, he's a close thing to Michael Jordan, yeah, but really not. Michael Jordan was efficient. Michael Jordan was very dominant. Not saying Kobe wasn't. But Michael Jordan, his impact was just different than Kobe Bryant's. But that's not even what we're talking about. We're talking about the finals, where it all matters. Kobe Bryant is a mediocre finals performer. He's a mid-finals performer. When we look at the LeBron James, who had a very bad finals in 2011, still was efficient, but he wasn't aggressive. People hold that against him, and he did not show up. He choked. That's what it is. But that's the only thing that you got on LeBron James in the finals. You can say 07. You can say against the Spurs. You can say that. You can say that as well.
The man had 10. So that means the other 8 he was really good in.
Right. Well, the finals is where it matters most. Kobe Bryant was mediocre there. And he cannot be the GOAT having this line of work in the finals to me. To be in the GOAT conversation, there's very little room for error in that conversation. Reasons why LeBron is not the GOAT.
Eli, when we look at Kobe's averages in the finals, 25, 6, and 5, or 41, 31, 85, that's honestly as mediocre it can get in the finals. In his 2 best years out of 7 finals, he only has 2 really good years, honestly. In 2002 was the first one with 27, 6, and 5, or 51, 55, 89 splits against the New Jersey Nets. I mean, yeah, impressive feat, but the New Jersey Nets, they did make 2 finals, but they weren't the craziest team to say, oh, wow, he did that on them. Then we go to 09, where he put up 32, 6, and 7, or 43, 36, and 84.
No real defending threats on that team. No guys.
No real defending threats on the Magic. The best defender is Dwight, and again, on the perimeter, which Kobe dominated on. So I see why Eli says that. But honestly, those are his only 2 good years out of 7. Eli, and what are those other 5 bad performances in the finals? Let me hear him, Eli.
All right, look, in 2000 where it all starts, and look, I'm not trying to take away, because obviously there are moments where they were crucial that Kobe showed up in a lot of these finals, in the clutch, whether it be in the clutch and things of that nature. But I'm just looking at it from an overall standpoint, right? In 2000 versus Indiana, he averaged 15.6 points on 36% shooting from the field and 20% shooting from 3. He averaged 1 steal and 1 block also. And that finals, he battled injury. He fought through injury and he played. But at the same token, the year after, in 2001, he averaged 24 points per game on 41% shooting from the field, 33% shooting from 3, 1.4 steals and 1.4 blocks. He went up against Allen Iverson. That was his matchup, the MVP of the league, who rightfully so was supposed to outplay him, and he did, right? But the year before, I wouldn't say the excuse you could say was he was injured. That's why he didn't, play as, great or whatever the case may be. But on that team, the Lakers, the team they went up against in 2001, the 76ers, were, I believe, the best defense in the league, right? Who was guarding Kobe is a different story. You know what I'm saying? None of those guys, look, you just want to say Aaron McKee was a very dynamic defender. Eric Snow's not doing nothing with Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, when we talk about 2001, yeah, maybe he wasn't supposed to outplay Allen Iverson, but he averaged 29 points the year in 2001. He shouldn't have went from 29 to 25 points per game. We know, Eli, that as a good player in the league, as one of the best players in the league, a top 5 player, your point per game average shouldn't be going down, especially when you're as great of a scorer as Kobe Bryant. You shouldn't be going down 4 points per game. It should only ascend. And I get, again, playing one of the most dominant players, but if you're playing with one of the most dominant players in the regular season, averaging 29 points per game, why can't you do it when it matters the most? You did it in the round before, averaging about 30-some points per game, but once we get to the finals, we get to where it matters the most, and you couldn't give me 30? You gave me 25?
Then in 04, we know that people want to say Kobe and Shaq, the chemistry was off, whatever the case may be. But obviously, they didn't go out there to lose. I mean, both of them. They didn't go out there with the mentality of losing. When they got there, they got to the finals. Y'all saying all it. Y'all didn't make any excuses when they made the finals. Or was that easy? No, it wasn't. So when they got there, why are we making excuses about chemistry or whatever? That got nothing to do with it. 2004, he averaged 22.6 points on 38% shooting from the field, which is his worst percentage in the finals. He shot 17% from three. He averaged 2 steals, but I got to say this. No GOAT can have this type of performance, right? And it's not just this single performance, because we know Michael Jordan didn't have, like, every finals he was great. There was some finals he was mediocre, but for the most part, Michael Jordan, a level of greatness and dominance in the finals. Yeah, in 04, he went up against some pretty good defense, though. That team was a really, in history, one of the best defensive teams of all time, but their offense was shaky. He went up against Tayshaun Prince, who was 4-time all defense. He's 4-time all defense for his career. Also, Chauncey Billups made, I believe he made a defensive team. I don't think it was first, but he made a defensive team. What was it that particular year? I don't know, but he definitely was a pretty good defender.
He definitely wasn't a slouch on defense. He played defense for sure.
Right. That team overall was a really great defensive team. You know, so I can understand why it could have been difficult for Kobe. You know what I'm saying? But shooting 38% from the field and 17% from three is unacceptable for a player of his level.
If we're calling you the best player in the league, you shouldn't be shooting 38% from the field, or arguably the best player in the league. You shouldn't be shooting that low. Like again, with LeBron James, we've seen him dominate the Warriors, who were one of the best defensive teams. Like we seen these guys do this. So why couldn't Kobe do it? And I'm not saying the Golden State Warriors was as good defensively as the Pistons, but shooting 38%, you know, I just don't see it. Then you're averaging 23 points with that 38%. And you guys lost. You didn't even come close to winning. You guys got gentlemen swept with and you know, I'm not mad if someone calls that a super team. I don't really think it was, but you know, you can say it's a super team, honestly. With Karl Malone and Gary Payton there. Come on, man. You lost when the odds was heavily in your favor. While he performed so bad.
In 2008, we know that he went up against a super team, and it didn't end well for him. They got dominated.
They lost the game by 40. The last game, they lost by 40.
Unbelievable how great that Celtics team was. But he averaged 25.7 points per game on 40% shooting from the field, 32% shooting from three, 2.7 steals. I mean, I don't even know where to start.
Sam Cassell, a lot of guys that roster.
But specifically the guys that would, you know, either they're being switched off on Kobe or primarily guarding, which was Tony Allen. Tony Allen is a menace. You know, one of the greatest. Gotta throw. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care how you categorize. Greatest defenders of all time, bro. The man is like, he's really tough. Kobe said out his own mouth, that's the toughest defender he's ever went up against.
First team all defense.
Right. How many times? Let me see. He made 6 defensive teams. So this is the guy who has pedigree on that side of the ball. But that doesn't give Kobe Bryant the excuse for underperforming. It doesn't, because great players get held to a standard that they have to be consistently held by. And I've seen a lot of double standards when it comes to this. Kobe Bryant, look, I understand Kobe Bryant is phenomenal. We all know that. But we can't be biased to what is actually in our face. I understand that from the eye test, yes, he's one of the best ever. He has one of the best skill sets of all time. People argue him as the most skilled player ever, right? But it has to be more than that. If you see this man go out there and in the first quarter, second quarter, he's off. He's taking all these shots and missing. Then in the fourth quarter, he finally goes off, and wins you the game. Of course, you're looking at, oh yeah, he won us the game. He showed up where it really matters. But in its totality, it's really not good. A player like Michael Jordan is not going out there doing that.
Again, and
from start to finish, it's gonna be good. LeBron James, we may not look at him as the clutches, which the accolades speak for itself about that narrative. But from start to finish, he's good. It's not, in this quarter he was bad, the next quarter he was bad, and then the fourth quarter he went on. It's not that. But even if you want to make the defense excuse, he played against premier. What about when he didn't play against premier defenders? Why are we not talking about that? He was equally as bad in 2009 against the Magic with no premier defenders. If y'all want to make the defending excuse, there were no premier defenders on his team. This is the finals where you can argue that this is his second best finals performance, like he said. The best one was the 0-2 one. But Kobe averaged 32 points for sure on 43% shooting from the field, which is mediocre. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's mediocre. Shot 36% from three. That's pretty good. Not outstanding, but average. I'm not nitpicking here. This is just what I'm seeing. Even with him not having a premier defender on him, you can look at the scoring average, but the efficiency is not where it needs to be. Because who's guarding? You can say, he takes tough shots. This is what people say, he takes tough shots. But if that's anybody else, why are you taking that dumb shot? You can't make that shot. Well, we looking at Kobe's efficiency here. What's to say he can make those shots? I mean, of course he can make those shots, but is he making them at a high clip? No. If that was anybody else, they would be ridiculed for that because you're shooting those shots and your efficiency is poor. Even in that finals being the second best performance, it was okay to me. It was okay. 2010 versus Celtics, he averaged 28.6 points on 40% shooting from the field and 31% shooting for three with 2.1 steals. Now, when it comes to this, again, we're back from square one. This went to a seventh game. Kobe Bryant was very crucial in the clutch in a lot of situations in this finals. But from an overall standpoint, he was not that good. You're shooting 40% from the field. You're shooting 31% from three. I don't understand how he gets to get away with this when none of the other greats get away with that. They will get ridiculed for this. If let's say LeBron James goes to the finals right now and has a performance like this, anybody going to be calling that a great performance? We have to hold people to the same standards, bro. As many times as Kobe Bryant has not been really good in the finals, there's no way he could be in a conversation with the LeBron James or Michael Jordan. No way. It's just not really being fair. It's not. When it matters most in the finals, Kobe Bryant he didn't have an overall dominance.
And in his first ever finals, he gets outplayed by Jalen Rose, which you guys love to taunt Jalen Rose for Kobe dropping 81 in the regular season. But when they met against each other for the first time in the finals, in 2000, Jalen Rose outscored him with 8 more points per game, shooting 47% to what, Kobe, you said 36 in his first finals?
Yeah, 36 from the field.
And Jalen Rose also shot 50 from three, averaged more rebounds and more assists. And like Eli said, was battling an injury. So you know what? We'll give him a pass for that. And okay, we go to next year. AI averages 36 points compared to Kobe's 25. He gets outplayed once again. Okay, AI was the MVP. So now we go to 2004. Richard Hamilton, ladies and gentlemen. Richard Hamilton outplayed Kobe Bryant in this 2004 finals, averaging 21, 5, and 4 of better shooting from the field and the three-point line. And honestly, Richard Hamilton is not of the standard of Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant at this point was in the conversations with Tracy McGrady for being the best shooting guard in the league. So why is Richard Hamilton giving Kobe problems? Why is Richard Hamilton holding Kobe? Well, it's not only Richard, but he was the primary defender on Kobe Bryant. Why was he holding him to 38%? Why was he outperforming Kobe Bryant, a legend, one of the greatest of all time? Why was he doing that? So that we move on also to the next finals, which is 3 years later. Ray Allen also outperformed Kobe Bryant. At this point, Ray Allen was at best, you can call him a second option, maybe third, but I'll stick to second at this point. Ray Allen averaged 20 points per game off 51, 52, 87, 70 true shooting. Now, the only reason why I'm saying I'm talking about his matchups, because I know we're gonna have people in the comments, Eli, talking about well, Kobe didn't only do that; he also played defense, and I agree. He has 9 all defensive first teams, tied the most for any shooting guard in the league. He has 12 altogether, which is the most by any shooting guard ever to play this game. But where was the defense here, Eli? Why is he getting outperformed by these guys when Kobe Bryant was held to this standard already at this point? Besides 2000, at this point, he was supposed to be going at it with Allen Iverson. I get Allen Iverson was the MVP, but Kobe Bryant, like I said, averaged 29 points per game. He was among the best. It was between him and AI again as the best shooting guards. Then the next year, him and T-Mac. T-Mac wasn't fortunate to match up with these guys, but he gets outplayed by Richard Hamilton. Then Ray Allen, which by far at this point, Kobe, we know, is the best shooting guard in the league for sure. We know that. He won MVP this year. Eli, just like we said, AI was supposed to outperform Kobe Bryant because he was MVP. Kobe Bryant did not outperform Ray Allen when he was MVP, Eli, when he was the most valuable player in the league, which some people argue he wasn't supposed to, but guess what? He still got the trophy, and he was supposed to be the best player, and Ray Allen absolutely bust his ass. Kobe Bryant, no one has ever bust Kobe Bryant ass the way Ray Allen did in that finals. It should be no reason why, as the MVP of the league, this is happening to you. You know, we could scratch the first 2 years, but Richard Hamilton and Ray Allen should not be outperforming you, Kobe Bryant, and that's unacceptable. And that's what really took you off the GOAT convo at that point. I think by then there was no way you was able to be the greatest player of all time by then. You know, and I'm sorry, it really sucks to say, because like you said, Eli, from the eye test, Kobe Bryant, man, he might be the greatest player. If there was no stats, if there was no such thing as a stat line, if there was no such thing as anything, if it's just watching basketball on the screen, Kobe Bryant looks like the best player of all time. But unfortunately, there are numbers. There are times where he was missing a bunch of shots. There are times where he was getting outplayed by guys he shouldn't have been outplayed by. Let's actually not give excuses for Kobe Bryant no more. We got to stop doing that, you know? We can't do this no more.